creepers, what's up you crazy creeps? It is Clarski, I am back. It is a beautiful day. Back in 1996, well, first of all, we're standing directly in front of Lincoln High School, which is definitely going to be torn down here very soon to make way for the new building that they're building for the kids. This should be done in 2022, but I wanted to come up here and document the filming locations to the 1996 Angelina Jolie movie, starring a ton of folks. Peter Fancinelli, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He went on to be in the movies, the Twilight sagas, so another kind of Oregon tie-in. But right here in the summer of 1995, they actually used the interior and the exteriors and around Portland, but the movie basically started out right here, and it was released August 23rd of 96, so it's been a while. And so we're going to try and see if we can find any of the relics of the old Angelina Jolie movie, Foxfire. So stay tuned, today's definitely going to be a good one. Oh, and then after we leave here, we're going to creep down to another filming location that was used in the movie as well, so stay tuned. So as you can see, they've got the big crane out over here doing all this construction. But this is Lincoln High School, and it's actually Oregon's oldest high school, 150 years strong. This was the high school to a lot of folks: Matt Groening, Mel Blanc, Elliott Smith, just to name a few. I believe Tracy Berry, one of the news anchors, went here as well. But right here is where they used basically this entire building for the 1996 Angelina Jolie movie, Foxfire. That's right. So today we're just going to kind of check out some of the scenes, see if there's any of the old relics of the past still. And there's a prevalent scene here that takes place in one of the science buildings, so let's go check that out first. So right down here on the other side of the school is going to be where the very first scene actually of the movie takes place, the opening kind of credits. And the movie is basically about a bunch of high school girls that are being harassed by one of the teachers, and they decide to kind of rebel. Angelina Jolie plays Legs, who's kind of a outcast character, kind of a rebel, that kind of comes into town and changes the girls' outlook on everything. In fact, they ended up breaking into the school and stealing some art supplies through the roof. They actually went in through the roof of the building in the movie. All right, it's pretty loud because this is like a pretty dangerous intersection, but in the beginning of the movie, the very first opening scene, you can see the car that Angelina's in basically come right down this way. And if you look very closely in the shot, you can actually see this backing of this signage here. It's changed a little bit throughout the years. There used to be two on the back. As you can see, there's just the one. Well, I guess there is two, but the other one was a lot more prevalent in the movie. But you would have seen basically like where that car is, just zoom by us now, would have been the direction that the car would have came into. You would have seen the car basically stop right about here in the middle of the intersection. Angelina's character would have got out. You would have seen her foot basically stomp down. And the weather's beautiful today. It was raining when they were filming, so when she stomped down, she basically stomps her foot down basically on the ground right about here. And if you look closely, you can see this signage, like I said, and the Lincoln High School right about there. Pretty cool. All right, so as we're across the street, the camera would have been right about here. And what makes it very interesting, and you can see very, very well, is these windows here along the building have all stayed the same, and this little shape here of the corner of the building has also stayed the same. You can see here that this pole and this fire hydrant are in the old shot. This pole is actually a metal pole, so this has been changed throughout the years. But Angelina Jolie's character would have been coming right down here in the car. They would have stopped right about here. You would have seen her foot kind of stomp the ground as she got out of the car, the cab, and then her character would have walked right in through those doors. Well, on the opposite side, these doors in this little section is new. When they filmed the movie in 96, late 95, the entrance was actually going into the building this way, but you can see all this here. And if you look really closely, you can actually see how big these two trees have gotten over the years, but this is where Angelina Jolie's character would have walked right in the school right there. And we'll go to our next shot next, inside the school. Pretty darn cool. So inside the school hallway here, you can see on the floor the red Lincoln High School, and off to the sides, directly behind me, is the door Angelina would have walked into. Legs would have slid her pocket knife under the metal detector and made her way down the hallway. Just as she got to right about here, the security guard behind her would yell, "Hey, stop! Listen to me when I say stop." Alright, now we're heading to the back side of the school, past this beautiful tree here, right over to these windows. Alright, so after Angelina Jolie's character makes her way past the security guard into the school that she actually doesn't even go to, the camera now is in the science room, which would have been room number 124, which would have been this room right here, where these blinds are open here, right on the opposite side of Lincoln. You can see all these windows actually from the inside shot, and in fact this in window here is the window that Angelina, well, Legs, what they called her in the movie, would have climbed out of. The shot brings us to inside the science room where they're dissecting frogs, and inside this room here, one of the students that becomes friends with Angelina later on in the movie is really scared to dissect a live frog, and she's basically being harassed by the teacher inside this building. But if you turn the camera this way and were to look out from the inside of the room, as they're doing the shots inside the room, some of this shrubbery wasn't here in '96, so it's a lot easier to see. But if you look right up there, right about where my finger is, they're doing a little bit of construction with like a crane and stuff. But that's Portland's big pink building, and you can see that building really well in the shot from inside of the classroom. Angelina Jolie's character decides that, you know what, she doesn't want to have the frog being dissected, and she totally feels for, you know, the character's feelings in the movie. So she actually grabs the frog and hightails it out of this window right here on the very end. And the teacher says, "What are you doing?" She says, "I don't even go here," giving us, the viewer, the first perspective of her rebel character. Right, just jumped on the Max. We're heading directly over to that red bridge. That's right, we're heading over to the Broadway Bridge for our next location. Alright, just got off the Max there, and we made it. We are basically right here at the entrance to the Broadway Bridge. And this bridge was used a ton of the shots in the movie, and one of the most iconic parts of the movie, kind of the ending as well. Angelina Jolie's character kind of shows her, you know, that life is, you know, kind of precious, even though she's kind of a rebel and stuff. And in fact, that brings us right here to the Broadway Bridge. That's right. And in the movie, you can see all these red lamp poles too, and the bridge is still the bright red color. And in the movie, Angelina Jolie's character would have been basically right behind one of these pillars here. And if I've done my research well, the pillar, well, now they've kind of covered these with like a cover, but back in the day they were cross-hatched like these ones are here. And in the movie, Angelina Jolie's character actually climbs to the top of the Broadway Bridge. Right up here is where her character would have been standing, and they would have used a helicopter or some sort of crane. I don't know if she actually climbed up there herself, if she had body doubles, but in the original shot, as Angelina Jolie's character is posted up, basically right about here is where you see her leaning up against these markings on the bridge. You can actually see this whole pillar here, and if you look directly behind them, well, let's see, I think it's this one actually. Yeah, it would have been this one. Her character would have been leaning up against basically this pillar here. because the one behind it's got the like slant going up. Maybe she did. Okay, so this would have been the one here that she climbed technically up to the top. As you can see here, it would have been pretty easy to do. But her character would have been basically standing right behind this pillar here. You can see all these, you know, hatchings on the ironwork. But if you look down below, you can actually see the train trestle tracks behind them in the shot, which led me to believe that this is basically where Angelina's character would have been standing. So legs would have been, well, Angelina would have been standing right about here. She would have been walking this way, and Angelina's character would have basically peeked out right about here. And then she noticed that she was carrying like a handbag, and Angelina took the handbag and actually climbed this pillar here. Well, maybe this one, because this one actually goes all the way up to the top. She would have climbed all the way up top there and basically walked across that little bar up top there, that, not bar, but you know, the bridge itself. She would have basically been walking around up here, and at one point she actually drops the bag down below, but the shot's actually filmed a little bit farther down. We're gonna go check that part out now. As we get off the bridge, how it changes here. This was all wooden back in the day. You can see Angelina Jolie's character kind of hanging off of the side because she actually drops down off the side here, which is pretty sketchy, to grab the handbag that was kind of lost. And you can see that this has all been replaced, but this was all wooden during the filming of the movie. But basically a really good shot of downtown. What's funny is she climbs the pillar down there, and in the shot she's basically way up top here. But when she flings the bag over the bridge, they're actually over the water at that point. So as you can see, the camera moved down just a bit because the water would have been in the shot where the bag was kind of dangling from the hook, and her character actually reached out, well, not reached out, but climbed underneath the bridge here. And as you can see, there's like these hooks. There's one here. The other one would have been facing the opposite direction upwards, but as you can see along here, all along the bridge, there's these like metal hooks. And in one of the shots, the bag actually dangles off of one of these hooks right here. And her character basically jumps down there and gets it, which is incredibly brave.
What's really cool is when they're standing right about here, you can see everything off in the distance very well, including the other bridge, and also a better shot of Big Pink, which we saw earlier from the Lincoln High School location.
And at the end, Maddie's character, after seeing Angelina Jolie legs climb the bridge herself, she says, "Heck it," and actually climbs all the way up herself. And basically does the same thing that Angelina did, just to kind of show her what it's like to be brave. Or just however you take the meaning to the ending to be. Angelina Jolie's character basically gets picked up in a big semi-truck, and Maddie decides to kind of be a rebel as well, kind of learn what she learned from Angelina during the movie. Pretty brave, pretty crazy though. I would never climb that myself. Dang. That's gonna do it for today. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. That will make you an official creeper. Down below, I've created a playlist of all the filming locations for movies and TV shows that we've done down below. After this vlog, if you guys feel like it, check it out. There's some good movies and TV shows, all been filmed here in Portland and Oregon in general. But that's gonna do it from the Broadway Bridge, the 1996 Angelina Jolie, one of her very first movies actually, Foxfire. I love you guys very much for always creeping with. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. You can also ring that bell, that way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. But that's gonna do it. I love you guys from downtown Portland. Creeper out for now. Peace. So I just talked with one of the people that here are, I believe you work for the school, and he says that he actually remembers the Angelina Jolie movie being filmed here.
Right.
That is so cool. So she was actually, you know, obviously here. What year was it?
95.
95.
Spring break in 95.
Spring break in 95. That's so cool. Do you remember any specifics from the movie?
Oh, the part I seen her was when she was coming out of a ceiling part of that hatch.
Oh yeah, yep. In one part, she actually climbs out of this side window,
Yeah.
and then you can see downtown. You can actually,
came out one of these windows.
right?
And yeah, we weren't supposed to fraternize with the stars that much.
Oh really?
I think she said hi to me or something.
Did she? That's cool. So you've been working here for a minute then?
Yeah.
Well, a couple years.
Yeah, 95 I was here.
95. That's so cool. Yeah, Matt Groening went here. Mel Blanc went here. Kind of a shame to see him gonna have to tear the school down, but I wanted to kind of get up here and capture.
Tracy Berry.
Oh, Tracy Berry went here too. That's so cool because KGW is just right across the street.
But there's no pictures of her or nothing.
Huh. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty cool that you remember being here when they actually filmed. I think most of the filming was done in the science room. Mr. Bailey, which was Matt Groening's high school teacher. Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, went here too. You probably know that.
Yeah,
So.
some of it was down in the art room. We had that kind of fake fire in the art room. Remember that?
I kind of remember from the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they called it Foxfire, right?
Foxfire. And yeah, they had some of their clothes off and they were doing tattoos.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't see that.
That all happened in the art room, huh?
I'm not sure where that was.
That's so cool.
That was at a house somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they found an abandoned house.
Ah. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've actually sat down to watch the movie, but it looks like I'm going to have to now.